I'm told the jail personnel felt that Jonathan and I smelled. No showers 6 days equals smelling prisoners. But we were somewhat surprisingly let go. People who sensed the local mood more than certainly I was aware of knew that that was a sign of danger, because we were, as I mentioned, some 20 miles away from Fort Deposit. There were no cell phones. There was an effort of some of the workers to try to, as we were let go, to find a friendly phone. That was not easy at that time. I don't know that whether it was done with public phones or whether there turned out to be some people that they were able to go to and call, but nobody had arrived during the time we were waiting or before Jonathan was shot. So we were let go. We were a little bit euphoric, at least I was, just to be out of the cell. It was a very hot day, perhaps like today, 85, 90. We sat on a small mound. We were, again, part of this wait for transportation. And as we did so, one group of from among us went to the cash store to try to get something to drink. And I don't recall whether they did or didn't, but certainly they were not treated very well. And they came back and kind of warned us. But this, I think, triggered Jonathan's sense of witness, and Jonathan, Ruby, Joyce Bailey, and I then approached the cash store again, only to find, at least my knowledge for the first time, Tom Coleman waving his shotgun and threatening to kill us white preachers, and pointing the gun, and Jonathan taking the first bullet for himself and or for Ruby. Different stories, versions of what Coleman's anger was and where it was focused. There are those who thought, including Gloria Larry and her reconstruction of what took place, that that Coleman very much wanted to out the two white preachers, that in doing this he would be making it clear to the locals that they shouldn't be getting these kinds of resources and engaging in these kinds of activities. And the local blacks were too stupid to be doing anything without the help and assistance of these white outside agitating preachers. I don't think they knew what kind of an organization Stokely Carmichael and Ruby Sales represented when it came to SNCC. George, I said Wright, but it was George Wiley. Just wonderful people who had spent a lot of time in Lowndes County and across the South encouraging people to vote, and feeling that if Lowndes County were one of those places, we're now in it, we're now on the road to Hayneville, that they were going to take them on, that you couldn't have a county with 3/4 African Americans pretending they existed in a world that was not part of the United States. And that challenge has come about, and we'll see it. John Hewlett was the first black elected as sheriff in Lowndes County. John Hewlett's son was mentioned at the talk last night by Morris Dees. His son, a now retired state trooper, was often of help to the Southern Poverty Law Center, and at least in Dee's view, Tom Coleman himself raised his mixed blood African American grandchildren. Hewlett used to say that Coleman would be of help to him, even though Coleman had killed other blacks in addition to Jonathan, that he would kind of drop around the sheriff's office and genuinely offer help, and based on his experience in law enforcement in Lowndes County, that his anger was again with these outside white folks rather than with the locals, even though he found time to murder a few of the locals. And so life went on, and Hewlett, as you know, died happily in the late 90s. Around the time my daughter was spending time here with some Catholic sisters from New York State, providing services to older people and after-school reading services and programs for young children.